Yeah, we're starting now. Okay. So good morning, everyone. Okay. I am Dr. Nimisha. I have undertaken the PLAB journey, started the PLAB journey 2 years ago. Okay. And currently I have finished my PLAB 1, and God willing, I am planning to take my PLAB 2 soon. Okay. And the reason why I have started this webinar is just so that I can guide others as well. I know a lot of people are struggling with, the study materials and things like that. And I just want to simplify things a bit for you guys. And from what I figured out, not everyone has a date. So for the others, it will be a good idea just to get oriented to what are the materials available in the market. Okay. All right. First of all, to all those who have a date, congrats, because I know it's not easy getting a date. It can be quite hard. So congrats to all of you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think we can start now. So mainly we're going to be dividing this webinar into 3 parts. Okay. And that will be about the study materials you need to be using, which is going to be taking the bulk of it. Bulk of the webinar, and then you have the preparation time required for this, and third you will be having on what is your study strategy that you need to be observing, approaching the exam with. Okay, and if we do have time, I will give some exam tips for the batch that's going to give an exam, that's coming up. I think next month there's an exam. Okay. And also before we start, if you have any doubt, okay, we will have a question answer session. I'll try to keep a question answer session towards the end, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we can talk then. Okay. All right. So first thing, the main approach to PLAB exam per se, what I would advise is keep it very simple. Okay. Keep the exam, keep your approach very simple. Keep your studying very simple. You don't need to break your head on, that I have so many materials, I don't know what to do and stuff. No, take a material, stick on to that. Okay. Now, the important question is about taking the material, which I'll come to, okay, in a short while. But my first advice would be keep it very simple, keep the approach very simple. Okay. And second thing, what I want to say is, in terms of preparation time per se, you won't require much of time. So we'll start with preparation time. We won't require much of time to give this exam. Why? Because simply PLAB is not a PG exam. Okay, it is a licensing exam. It is not a PG exam like NEET or USMLE where there's so much of extra information you need to sit and study like for a year or so. No, it is just a simple straightforward exam. I wouldn't say simple, but it's a straightforward exam, and they are just going to question you on the basis of your whatever you have done from your MBBS or your internship period, and maybe post internship period, if you're a junior doctor, how much you would know. That is what they expect out of you. They don't expect anything more. So there's nothing in depth, like there's nothing into medicine, there's nothing into surgery. It's all the basic things. Okay. So preparation time per se will just, I would say personally, it should be 6 months, not more than 6 months. Okay, I'm not saying you need 6 months, but it shouldn't actually cross more than 6 months. I have seen people prepare for 8 months, 9 months and all. That is their thing. Okay, obviously a lot of factors come into play. If you are a slow learner, then you may need some time. I agree. But if you are an average person, then 6 months is more than enough. Okay. The only exception if you're an average person and more than 6 months would be if you're doing something really hectic, like you're taking a job that is double shift, or you have internship, a hectic internship, or you're just a new mom, something like that, then okay, makes sense that, or a new dad, makes sense that you do need time more than 6 months. But ultimately you won't even require 6 months, because even when people say I took 6 months to prepare, trust me, it is not possible to do active studying 6 months. It is not possible. Active studying of PLAB will come only towards the last 3 or 4 months, not more than that. Till then, it will be passive studying. You'll just be glancing, doing a couple of questions if possible, if not possible. It will be like that. Okay. So not more than 6 months. But again, if you're just going, if many of you haven't booked any dates, so I would say, okay, keep 6 months. But I also want to let you know, ideally, it is just 3 to 4 months. Okay. 6 months is the maximum, but otherwise, if you're an average person and you have your exam coming up, don't be scared. In 3 to 4 months, you will be able to study well, prepare well, give several mocks. That's more than enough. There are people who have done this exam within 1 month and 2 months as well. Okay. So that is the preparation wise I need to, just say about. Let me see. There's nothing else I have to cover in preparation. So mainly it is, I would say not more than 6 months, but ideally 3 to 4 months is more than enough. Okay. So far, do you guys have any doubt with the preparation material and preparation time? Any doubt? If you guys don't want to speak up, you guys can easily just chat. I'll just look at the chats. Okay. So far, no doubt, right? Okay, fine. If any doubt, you can always clear it towards the end. Okay. All right. Now let's go to the important part. That is the study material. Okay. So now most of you from most of the groups will have some idea on what the study materials are, right? You must have heard of PLABable. You must have heard of med revisions, PLAB was, PLAB 1 keys, PLABable gems. So many doubts and questions would be there. So I'll just simplify it for you. Okay. Mainly the main 4 things. Just a second, please. Okay. Yes. So mainly the main 4 study materials that's available for you is more than 4. Let's divide the study materials like this. Okay. Yes, I'm going to be covering the materials. Yes. Mainly let's divide the study materials like this: notes and question banks. All right. So in notes, you have several notes. You have PLAB verse and you have PLAB 1 keys. Okay. Even PLABable gems will come under it. Okay, but I'll explain a bit about gems in a short while. But these 3 are the main notes. Let me see. Then there is something called Samson notes. Okay, that is also material available out there. Then in question banks, you have med revisions, you have PLABable, and I think you have 1,700 questions. What else? Yeah, these are the main ones. Okay. Now I would say, for me, if you were to ask me, it will just be 4 of them. In notes, it will be PLAB 1 keys, it will be PLAB verse, and in question bank, you will have med revisions and PLABable. To you guys also, I would advise just stick on to these 4 things. Why? The reason why I suggest this is because these study materials are constantly updated. Okay, you're getting an updated version. So it's better to learn the updated version rather than the outdated ones. Okay. So just stick on to these 4 of these study materials. Okay. Now I'll just talk about the question bank, because a lot of people are confused about which one to go for: med revisions or PLABable or both of them together. It can be quite confusing. I understand that. So I'll just first explain the difference between PLABable and med revision. Okay. So none of them, I wouldn't say any of the question bank is better than the other in terms of the exam per se. I am talking with an exam point of view, not a general point of view. Okay. But for exam, I won't say, oh, med revision is more, so better to go with med revision. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say PLABable is whatever that comes in PLAB, so go for PLAB. No, I wouldn't say that. What I would say is, you have whatever is needed for the exam in PLABable. Okay. So there are 2,000 questions in PLABable. All those 2,000 questions are just focused for the exam. Whereas in med revision, there are 4,000 questions. Okay. And not all of these questions are oriented towards PLABable. Towards the exam. I'll just say exam. I'll get confused with. Med revisions, not all of them, all of the questions are towards the exams. Some of them are a bit too deep. Some of them are actually a bit of a PG level exam questions. So it can be quite hard, and you don't actually need all those questions for your, exam. So I personally would recommend to stick on to PLABable if you are short of time. If you have only 1 month, or you have 2 months, or you have 3 months remaining, then just please stick on to PLABable. Don't start with med revision. This is the first thing you need to remember. If you have time, go for med revisions. Otherwise, no med revisions, only PLABable. 3 months or 4 months, 4 months, and you're a slow learner or you're just an average learner. Please stick on to PLABable. That's the first thing that I want to say. Okay. Now, what is PLABable? I think most of you guys know. The entire thing is you have question, answer, question, answer. It's a question bank. Same with med revision, question, answers, and then you have some explanation and notes and stuff like that. Both of them do offer mocks. I'll come to mocks again towards the end. Okay. So I would say stick on to PLABable in the last couple of months, especially the last 3 months. Now, I personally did not take med revision at all, and I had more than 6 months to. I had time, so but I never touched med revisions at all. Now, if you're a person who say no, I want to complete everything. I just want to be very extremely confident, and I have to go through everything. If you're a person like that, and you are really insisting upon med revision, you are insisting that you want med revision, then I would suggest you not to go through the question bank. Don't go through the by med revisions, no problem, but don't go through the question bank. Just attempt the mock of med revisions. Okay. So in med revisions, you can attend, I think there are some 23 mocks, and you can go through those mocks. Okay. You can go through those mocks and make sure you take the, you tick mark, you choose the high recall mocks or what is that? Recall mocks or high yield questions. Okay, if that's the case, just do those mocks and then transit towards PLABable, because it is impossible to finish 4,000 questions in med revision. It is not possible. I have seen a lot of people start out with med revision, but in midway they just stop because they realize, oh, I don't have time, and then they just quickly rush towards PLABable. I don't want you guys to make that mistake, and therefore I am saying, just if at all you are insisting upon med revision, do the mocks, then transit towards PLABable, and don't skip out on PLABable. You want PLABable. You cannot make it without. I wouldn't say you cannot make it, but really, if you're an average person, I would say for you to get a grasp of what's happening, just you're a normal average kid, then you need PLABable. Okay, so that is what I would recommend. Okay, so this is regarding question banks. Both of them have some mocks. I'll talk about that in a short while. Okay. Then this is the question bank part. Okay. Any doubt in the question bank materials? Any doubt? If just speak up or put it in the chat. I'll just.
Excuse me. Can you hear me?
Yes. Who is talking? Can you tell me your name, please? I can't see here.
This is me, Dinanath Shah from Nepal.
Okay. Hi.
I want to know about what's the difference between PLABable and 70-100 question. Okay. So is that both are similar or same or what? Okay. Can you tell me about it?
Yes, I can tell you definitely. I am planning to say it was coming up, but now that you ask, would it be fine if I just cover towards the end, because it's anyways coming up? Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay, fine.
Okay, I'll just cover it. It's coming up. Okay. Okay. Any other this thing? Okay, I'll tell about 1700 and PLABable this thing. All right. So this is the question bank part. Now that the study material question bank part is out of the way, let's talk about the notes. Okay, in notes you have two. You have PLAB verse, okay, and you have PLAB 1 keys. I personally use PLAB verse. These are my notes. Okay, I won't be able to show you everything. This thing, you both PLAB verse and PLAB 1 keys are not subscriptions. Forgot to tell you guys, PLABable and med revision are subscriptions. You have to pay them. If at all you are getting the offline version, please don't go through them. The only reason why I'm saying don't go through them is because they will be outdated, and trust me, that's going to cost you marks. Okay. If at all you want to go through them, then if you have more than 6 months and you're planning for your exam only next year, then just to just to casually go through, you can go through. Otherwise, subscribe to the active question bank. Okay. But these notes, you will get those PDF, online free PDF, many groups are giving, you can get them. Okay. Personally, I would say both of them are really good. There's nothing like this is better than this one. Both of them are equal. Okay, both PLABOS is good and PLAB 1 keys is good. Just one difference I have noticed in PLAB 1 keys, it is more oriented towards visual learners. Like say you're a person who needs to see the picture and then the mnemonic, and you get it. Then you need PLAB 1 keys. But otherwise, you just I would PLABOS is also good. There is a small one more difference is PLAB verse is just is pretty much the written version of PLABable altogether given subject wise. which actually is quite helpful. Like if you look at PLABable, even though it is given subject wise, you also have the theoretical part here given, subject wise. So that is pretty useful. Whereas in PLAB1 keys, it is the same, but they will also give that extra information, that visual learning aid and stuff in PLAB1 keys as well. Okay. Anything else in this thing? Nothing else. So a suggestion from my part, this is one of my main suggestion. Please, when you start studying, you need to have one note. Now I have told you 4 things. I've told you PLABable, I've told you med revision, I've told you PLAB verse, I've told you PLAB1 keys, right? Choose one note and choose one question bank. Okay. Don't rely on question bank alone, especially if you're going for PLABable. Don't rely on just PLABable and go about. No, you need one question bank and you need one of the notes. Okay, any one of them. So in total, you will be having 2 study materials. Okay. And how do you approach this? Before starting every subject in PLABable or med revision, say for example, you're going to start endocrinology, then you go through your, okay, not endocrinology, I have anatomy here. So if you're going to start anatomy questions, you need to read all your anatomy, just read through it. Okay, read the notes and then you start with your question bank. Okay. Why am I saying this? Because if you do not know absolutely nothing about it and you start solving the questions, many of them are obviously going to be wrong and you're just going to miss a chance at answering a question. Better would be to go through it, properly learn, and then attempt it. Does this take time? No, it just each subject would take not more than, the worst case scenario subject will take not more than 2 hours, okay, or 3 hours. But otherwise, I would say an average time of half an hour to 1 hour is enough to cover each and every notes. Okay, but the question bank is going to take you some time, but the notes per se will not take you some time. This is a very strong adjunct to your question bank. Okay. All right. This is one strategy, by the way, the notes and this thing. Yes, I will write down the source's name. Yes, I will write down. Yes, sure. Just towards the end. Would you? Okay, I'll just attempt. I'll just reply to the questions later. Keep. You can post it down, but I'll just reply later. Okay. Okay. What else? Let me think. Yeah. So this is mainly regarding the preparation materials. All right. Okay, now let's one of them were asking the difference between 1700 and PLABable, right? So there are, remember when I said there are some extra materials as well. So one of them is 1700 question bank. Rest assured, you do not need to go through 1700 question banks separately if you're going through PLABable, because it's pretty much the same. Whatever is in 1700 questions is sort of scattered throughout PLABable. It will be there in PLABable. If you have PLABable, just chuck 1700 out of the, your view, just focus on PLABable. Okay, so that is one. Second one, I think there is other things called, there is another one called Samson Notes. Okay, it's pretty good. I'm not saying it's bad, it's good. It is not very exam oriented. It has very interesting point is what I figured out. I personally haven't gone through it. This is another person's review, but it is outdated. Okay, so stay away from outdated things, because the UK medicine system, it's very much updated and they keep on changing. Okay, they keep on changing. So just stick on to these 4 guns: PLABable, med revision, PLAB verse, PLAB1 keys. They keep on updating, and that's what you need. You don't need to go through those extra rare study materials. One thing is the Oxford Handbook of Medicine. That is useful. I'm not saying take that and study. It's not possible. It's a big book, quite a lot of material. But whenever you have doubts regarding guidelines, you can refer to it. Okay, if you want. This is not necessary. So these are mainly study materials wise. Okay, and now I'm just going to talk about the study strategy. Okay, let me talk about the study strategy. Right. At the end of the day, okay, whether you stick on to med revisions or whether you stick on to PLABable, or whether you start out with med revisions, then transfer to PLABable, there is a game changer. What do I mean by a game changer? There is one thing that is going to increase your scores, and that is mocks. Okay. Whatever question bank you study from, let it be PLABable, let it be med revision, you will be having this much of, when you attempt, even if you were to give a mock exam, then you will be having this much. For you to go up, it will be mocks. Mocks is a game changer. It was a game changer for me. It was a game changer for most of my friends. That is what increases your score. But I don't want you guys to be confused when I say about mocks. Let me be clear. In med revision, there are some 23 mocks. These mocks, when you're doing, do high yield mocks or do recall mocks. Okay, that is med revision wise. If it is PLABable, PLABable itself offers some, right now, as of now, I think there are 17 and a half mocks. Half mocks as in there are no one full 180 questions, it's some 60 questions or something like that. So there are some 17 something mocks in PLABable. They're called PLABable mocks. They are free, okay? But many people who do that, okay, including me, if you start doing that, you will realize that you're getting really good scores, 85%, 75%, 85, slowly it'll go up to 90 and all, you'll be very happy and very assured. It can be quite misleading, and I'll tell you why. Why? Because these questions that come in PLABable mocks as a part of the application, these are same questions that somewhere in the question bank, okay? So you will tend to, your brain is going to tend to memorize it. Whether you do it actively or not, it happens, trust me. You will memorize it and you will end up scoring really good points, you know, really good score. And that can be quite misleading. In reality, maybe your concepts are not so good and you're just memorizing. Maybe your marks are actually not so good. So if you do notice, I do see this in, you know, groups a lot of time. I got 75, 85% for mocks, but I didn't make it in my exam. That's because your brain by mistake sort of memorized it, okay? So I'll tell you what to do regarding this. But before I go to what to do regarding this, let me just tell you one more thing. Do mocks only after you revise the question bank at least twice, okay? That's the only time when you approach mocks. Don't in between go for mocks and then come back, because you're going to see your scores, you're going to worry yourself. It's going to be a vicious cycle of stress. Don't do that. Keep mocks towards the last 1 month of your exam. Otherwise, don't touch mocks, okay? So 2 times you have to revise your question bank. Now, okay, coming back to PLABable mocks. So now if PLABable mocks can be misleading, what to do? Okay, there is something known as big mocks. What is big mocks? Which PLABable offers? What is that? It is a mock that you pay 30 pound for. Okay, each mock is 30 pound. These are actually, I'm not sure if it is actual question papers of the same month, but if you go to PLABable, you will see that you can purchase a big mock for 30 pound, February, August, November, same like the PLABable dates only, you have big mocks. Now this is going to be a game changer. Why? That this big mock is a game changer. Why? Because these are questions you have never seen in your life, number one. So you're not going to get good marks. So out of 180, my max to max was 120 maximum. Otherwise it used to be 104, 108, 110, and it was quite worrying out of 180. So, but it will give you a very good reality check, number one. But more than your knowledge, even if you're taking big mocks, don't look at your scores and fret, okay? The entire purpose for big mock is mainly it is for time management, okay? Now, again, a difference between the PLABable mocks and big mocks is when you do PLABable mocks, if it's a 180 question mock, so ideally they say 3 hours. You won't finish it in 3 hours. Before that itself, you'll finish. I used to finish in 1 hour, 1.5 hours. I would have half an hour or 45 minutes remaining. What does that mean? That means that you are memorizing it by mistake. So in that case, what you can do is, that's why you have to do big mocks. So it will give you an idea of time management. It will teach you to manage your time very well, number one. Number two, it will give you a reality check. Okay, look, you're not so great. This is your ideal scores. But even if you get very bad scores, trust me, after doing so these big mocks, I would suggest at least do, I did 4 of them, but I know everyone cannot purchase 30 pounds, a mock, maybe share something like that. You can try doing that. If that's the case, do 4 at least. But by the time you reach your 3rd mock, you will have very good time management. Trust me on this, okay? It will give you a good time management, very good time management, in fact. So this is your game changer. For med revision people, I think your mocks are already really sort of more advanced than the basic PLABable mocks. It will be equivalent to these big mocks. But even if you are doing med revision and you want to take a big mock, you can. You don't need a subscription with PLABable. You're just making an account and you can pay 30 pounds and you can do a big mock, okay? Sorry, I'll just have some water. Okay, so this was the game changer for me. The big mocks was the game changer for me. All right. I just want to tell few more things quickly. Let's see. Okay. Also one more thing regarding the strategy that you need to be using for your what is that thing, your exams would be to, especially towards the last 1 month. Stop your, if you have done at least once you have done your question bank, then just stop with your preparation and approach mocks. Okay, keep doing mocks. Okay, the meeting is going to end in 10 minutes, so I'm just going to hurry. Keep doing mocks, okay, and do at least 8 or at least 5 to 8 plabbable mocks. You have to do those 5 to 8 plabbable mocks to get an idea of time management, okay, and an idea, just feel confident in giving exams. And then you start doing your big mocks, 3 to 4. Same with med revision people, do your big, your med revision mocks, and then if you can purchase some big mocks, number 1. Okay, this is the first thing. Second thing is, like how I mentioned before, so the last 1 month should be just for mocks. At least 2 weeks you can use for mocks, and the last 2 weeks or 1 week you can use to just go through your own notes. 1 week I went through my own notes, not 1 week, last 3 days, and the other couple of days I would just go back through these notes. In, for example, cardiology, epidemiology was very hard for me, so I just would go through it. Now, one more thing, Plabbable has something known as Plabbable gems. They are very useful. Please purchase it. It is 10 pounds. So epidemiology and all, I didn't know at all. So Plabbable gems is what, both of them couldn't help me out. Plabbable gems helped me out. So it can be quite useful, especially when it is hard subjects. So ideally, the best thing if you have good time is start with the notes, one note, go through, okay, then do the question bank, then go through the gems. Gems, like the word suggests, will give you some good nuggets of information, okay. All right. I don't think I have time to just advise on what to do for your exam, this thing, but I'll just try attempting your questions. Okay. Can you write down these sources names? Okay. For those of you guys, I have posted my Insta handle here. Okay. In case this meeting goes off, you can please reach me out there. Okay. The coffee brewing medic. That's my Insta handle. Okay. And the notes are PLAB PLAB 1 keys, med revision, and plabbable. Okay. Sorry, my spellings are not plabbable. Okay. Any other doubts you can ask me, or just. Okay, Plabbable does webinars for each. No, don't buy those webinars. It's not, if you are using my approach, don't go through those webinars. You don't need to. Okay. I would suggest even there, they have some practice last minute, they have, just before the exam, they have one big revision session. Don't go through it. I wouldn't suggest it. If you use this approach, then don't go through it. Any particular subjects? No, there's actually unfortunately no particular subjects. All subjects are very equal. Why? Because for me, I had ENT mostly coming up. That was considered a minor subject, and cardiology. I think there's a version going on that, oh, this is more important, these are minor subjects. Don't skip any subjects. If at all you couldn't touch that subject, at least go through the plabbable gems of that subject. For example, you didn't have time to go through ENT, take plabbable gems, at least go through that much. Okay. Okay, plabbable, any particular subject. Okay. When to attempt PLAB for an India for a medical student after graduation? Can you write the sources? Okay, fine. Okay, for those who are attending from India, the best thing would be finish your internship, and best thing would be my Insta handle. I've just written at the cough. Okay, so sorry. The coffee medic, sorry, the coffee brewing medic. I just made it for this. Okay, that's the Insta handle. Right, for those who are attempting from India, finish your internship and then you can apply. There is a way where you can directly apply without internship, which is I'm not saying it's complicated. It is possible. You can do it. Nothing it's impossible. There is a special name for it. I think it is called UK, some foundation program, something it is. I'm not very sure about it, and I don't want to give you wrong information, but it is possible to do your internship in UK. That is possible. But otherwise, you just want to go straight forward into UK, you can wait till your internship is over. That is also possible. Any doubt that you guys have? No? Okay. Will it matter if we have clinical gap before PLAB 1? Unfortunately, see, I'm not saying it is going to be bad. There are people, there are, how do you say, people who have had 10 years gap and then they have, got jobs and stuff. No one's going to have an issue with your gap. You just need to explain it. Why are you having a gap? Okay. You may have to explain to the GMC cover letter, I had a gap for so and so reasons, and don't lie, just be honest. And okay, can you send us the links for PLAB and PLAB keys? All right, you guys will have to hit me up on my Insta handle. I'll need everyone's email ID to send it, I think. How many hours a day? I can't find your Insta, really. Sorry. The coffee brewing medic. The coffee brewing medic. Or just type Nimisha, Nemisha. Okay, that's my name. You will find my this thing. What was I saying? Sorry. Yeah, time for preparation, right? Last 2 months, you will need to spend at least 8 hours per day. If you're in that initial sweet period of 3 to 4 months, or you have 6 months time, then you can just use 3 hours or 3 to 4 hours if you have 6 months time. But towards the last 1 to 2 months, 8 hours, or at least 6 to 8 hours you will need to spend. And make sure you do active studying. Okay, is it better to register and then start preparing? Well, for people who are very goal oriented, it would help. Like, for example, once I saw my exam date and booked, only then I started studying actively. Even though I knew I was planning for PLAB, I didn't study very actively. For me, it was helpful. It really depends upon you. Are you a person like that, or that is again up to you. Anything else? Ma'am, what is your name? Okay, Nimisha, Nemisha. Any other doubts? Because the meeting is ending soon.
Can you provide the link?
Yeah.
Please?
Just I can, but I can do it only to your email. So you will have to, you will have to message me on my Instagram. That's what I'm saying.
Can you put your Insta ID, please?
Yes, I have put the coffee
brewing. I guess you mentioned the name someone. Can you put it in everyone, please?
See, I'm just typing now. Okay, hold on. This is going to, okay, hold on. Okay, can you just see now the coffee brewing medic? Okay, this is my Insta handle and my name is Nimisha. Can you see it now?
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Anything else? The meeting is ending. Any doubts you guys have? Anyone need something, you need any help, you can always reach out to me on Instagram. I'm more active over there, and you want some help with, you want any videos or webinars, you can always ask me. I'll try conducting them. Okay. All right, then. No more doubts.
And
yes.
Can I know something more? Are you done with the PLAB 1 and PLAB 2 already?
I'm done with PLAB 1. I did it back in February 2022. I'm going to take my PLAB 2 now. I'm going to the United Kingdom somewhere in the next couple of months, hopefully, once the visa comes. Yes.
Okay, so from your side, what do you say? Is it hard to pass, or what do you say?
It is a doable exam. I see a lot of people saying it is a hard exam, that exam, this exam. No, it is a doable exam. What matters is your study strategy. And I did mention the study strategy. Number 1 would be give mocks. Make sure you do mocks. You need a good time management and use OneNote, one question bank. Okay, it's just a licensing exam. It is highly possible to do it. It is not an impossible exam. It is a doable exam.
And can you mention from where to take a mock exams?
Yes, from Plabable, the application itself, okay, Plabable application itself, you can pay 30 pounds and you get big mocks. You have to do those big mocks, at least one or two, okay? You can also share with your
What do you
friends.
mean big mocks? What do you mean big mocks?
If you go to Plabable, okay, and in near to question bank, just below the drop button, there is something known as big mocks. You have to purchase it.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
It's like a exam you have to sit for. Very important thing when you're doing mocks, sit like you're going to do an exam. Okay, please don't take it very casually. Sit like you're going to do an exam. 3 hours of silent time away from everyone. Put a timer and this.